Well, good morning. Welcome in. Hello, YouTube. You are on the lifeboat. This is Captain Calhoun speaking. We're going to talk some more about Diddy today. Fortunately, unfortunately, right? It's been running through my mind. Mankind loves a salacious story. No matter how much we express that we're tired of it, it's hard to look away, kind of like a train wreck movie, right? You start watching it, it's terrible, but you can't look away. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. And this is kind of like that, I think. But I will say also, we have a unique opportunity where everyone is kind of looking in this direction. We have a unique opportunity to talk about abuse, to talk about the corrupt system of Hollywood and drug abuse, right? For example, what's her name? Judy Garland from Wizard of Oz, right? This has been going on for a very, very long time. This is just the first time it's been a huge RICO lawsuit, right? Anyways, good morning. We're going to talk about all that good stuff and more. Oak Hill Classroom, good to see you in. Welcome to the boat. Flick Fox, Deidre Gore, Blessed to Crochet, Valerie 102. Wow, I missed you. How are you? It's good to see you. Heck yeah, dude. It's been a while. Shannon Smith, Robin Miners. Good to see you guys. Good morning. Deidre Gore, Jason P. Heck yeah, guys. Kevin Hawthorne. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, it's interesting. I also hear all the time that y'all are sick of Diddy, but people show up to hear us talk about him, which is very interesting to me. Mankind loves a salacious story, I tell you what. And this is quite salacious. I've been reading up on all kinds of stuff. I didn't know the story about Judy Garland. Are y'all familiar with that? That's the star of The Wizard of Oz. Apparently this kind of thing has been going on for a very long time. They used to give her heroin and speed, most basically. Obviously, I think the speed was in a different form, but they've been using amphetamines in Hollywood for ages, since like the 1920s, since after World War II, or since before World War II. So this is like ingrained in that industry, and it's really sad. It's really, really sad, I have to say. People are just getting taken advantage of, and it seems like back then, to my eyes, it seems like the women were the ones getting taken advantage of. I'm sure that they're in the stories I was reading, there was men taking stimulants and stuff too, but they weren't being pressured to. You know what I mean? Also, if you're working a 72-hour day, that's 3 days, by the way. That's not 1 day. That's a problem, and apparently that's kind of what they were doing. They were doing really crazy hours. I also read a story that said Shirley Temple on her, I think it said on her 18th birthday, they celebrated the studio by working her all night. Which that's a little wild. On my birthday, I ain't doing that. I tell you what, I don't care if we're making $1 million movie. I'm out of here. I'm gonna go sit down, put my feet up. Wharton Fissel, what is going on? Good morning. Jen Otnine Hobbs. Yes, it's so tragic. She was so heavily abused. And yeah, you know what? I am sick and tired of talking about Diddy. But maybe I could use this to talk about abuse, to talk about coercion, to talk about healthy stuff. I have to say the lifeboat videos that we do, where I talk about consent and boundaries and whatnot, they do far less well as the ones where I talk about drama, and that's very interesting to me. It's very interesting to me. Some of my best stuff, the people are never going to see, just because it doesn't get out there, or it's not as interesting as the salacious story, which is. I'm just starting to wrap my brain around this. I'm going to find a way to make it work for me. So yeah, thanks for showing up today, y'all. Avina Sativa, good morning. Helena, flock of swan boats. What's going on? People want dirty laundry. I want some clean laundry, Shannon. What happened to clean laundry? And I wonder whose idea it was. How did this all start? Did it start with MGM Grand, right? And what was that guy's name I was just reading about? Arthur Freed. Did it start with him or was it far before that? I don't know. But I tell you what, it's got to stop, right? Especially the cell phone changed everything. There's going to be 30 years of videos and text messages and this, that, and the other coming out about Diddy. And I think that's why a lot of people are scared. And I for one, I hope they're all in the videos. I hope every single one of them is on video and the videos come out. I think that would do great things for exposing the BS, exposing the toxicity, exposing the abuse, right? And I don't believe for a second that that's the end of it, right? But awareness, knowledge is power. Awareness enables us to change moving forward, right? If we don't know what's going on, we have no ability to change. But everyone kind of does know what's going on. And I don't think really anyone's okay with it. So the next step is for people to speak up when they see what? Well, anything really. It's a way for us to ignore our problems and focus on others, not good, says Galen. This is true. We talk about a lot. It takes 8 minutes to distract yourself from whatever's going on in your head. When you get the crazy brain tornado, or you're getting, what are they called? Ants, the automatic negative thoughts. You just got to distract yourself for 8 minutes, right? So I could watch a salacious story for 8 minutes and I'll forget what's going on poorly in my life just for a while, right? Or I could have a conversation with my friend for 8 minutes and get my brain moving in a different direction. So there are more effective ways to switch gears, right? And again, I like reading books. I like reading wild stories. I like watching movies that are fantastical. So I'm not necessarily ragging on like the subject matter from that point of view. But I think that we, again, like I said yesterday, I think we're missing the big picture here. These people are victims, and and we've pretty much been like, this has been going on since the 1920s. I was about to say we've been allowing it to happen, but I don't really know what kind of power a guy like me has. I mean, I guess our power is in our numbers, right? And our goodwill. But this kind of thing is probably going to slowly die out if the cell phone is, still in existence. I wonder what the set of a movie in Hollywood looks like today. Are there people popping uppers and downers and all the things in between? Is it more regular? I tend to believe it's like a really, really nice sweatshop. I tend to think that Hollywood's definitely not what it looks like on the outside. I've never been there, right? I've never been to a studio, but I have a hard time believing that these kind of old habits are just gone, right? Especially when Diddy's in the news right now for doing all of this stuff. Obviously, he wasn't doing it at a studio, or he was doing it in his own way, right? On his own. But like, he's in Hollywood. He's in the music industry. He's like up there, right? So it's kind of the same thing. In fact, he probably learned from, these old crusty dudes that have been doing this since the 20s or whatever, right? Like Arthur Freed. Am I saying his name right? Bum, 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 bum. Survey says, where was his name? Right here? Right here, right here, right here? When I need the information, it's never right where I need it. Bum, 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 bum. Arthur Freed, that's right. MGM studio chief at the time. All right, let's read what y'all have to say. Russ, what's my mouse button's bound to back for some reason. I'm going to have to change that. Galen says, what is even more interesting to people is who else was involved. I tell you what, I was talking with my friend about this last night, my new friend. And I have to say, he said, what did he say? He said, who do all these people know? And I was like, who? And he said, Oprah. And I said, ha, ha, ha. But, all jokes aside, I wouldn't be surprised. I definitely wouldn't be surprised. The most well-to-do, positive image people, I would not be surprised. Oprah's a pretty well-to-do, well-respected lady. You know what I mean? Dave Chappelle did a whole skit about marrying Oprah and quitting his job and like, oh, I made it. I'm marrying Oprah. I wouldn't be surprised at all if she had some dark secrets. I don't know much about her, but she definitely has that image, right? Did Spanx savage himself? What are we talking about? I look fine, right? I look great. You know, it's interesting, Robin. They come out with some pretty sweet flicks, right? Robin says Hollywood has always been a cesspool. They really put on a very, very positive image, but I don't know how they come out with that product when what they're doing in actuality is so dark, right? Like The Wizard of Oz is a pretty good flick, you know? It's actually legendary, right? And I have to say, Judy Garland looks happy. You know, she looks joyous. She looks like she's having a good time. But, you know, come to find out, there's all kinds of stuff that's going on that none of us see. It's interesting to me that they can come out with a product that looks so polished when what went into it was just buckets of poop, you know? That's a terrible metaphor, but you get the point. It is the same apartment. In fact, I was thinking about rotating my banner because I have so many from the wonderful Body Illusion. Shout out to Body Illusion. I hope this message finds you well. But I've got the weed and mushroom one right there. That's actually kind of why my angle is here, because I don't want to have to answer that question every day. But I've got a bunch of them. There's a heart one over here. I've got a behemoth black metal one right here. I got all kinds of different stuff we can work in behind me. I've got some punk rock stuff over there. So yeah, it is the same apartment. I was thinking it feels a lot better now, but it's still missing something. This corner doesn't get a lot of light after the sun goes down. I have this little lamp over here, but it's about this tall from the ground, and I'm sitting down, right? So it's about to here on me when I'm standing up. So it doesn't provide enough light, is the point. So I probably need one of those like tall ones that has like a upside down, or has like a bowl or whatever, you know what I'm talking about, right? My finger doesn't spell so well this early. You and me both, man. I definitely have to take it slow. But, you know, back to what we're talking about here. I bet you there are tons of examples of this. I was reading about, like I said, Judy Garland. I was reading about Debbie Reynolds. I was reading about Shirley Temple. All kinds of young child actors, all kinds of old stars. And, you know, I also was hearing some talk about Justin Bieber and why doesn't he come forward and talk and stuff. And you gotta understand that these people are dealing with trauma, right? What we're talking about, like, it's not just like talking about the news. It's not just like talking about what we got in the mail. You know, it's not like talking about what I learned at school today. You know, this is talking about like, yo, what happened behind closed doors? Tell me about your abuse. It's very, very different. It's very, very different. I would, if it was me, I mean, I am personally going to respect these people's privacy, going to respect these people's, you know, trauma, like their journey, right? They definitely didn't sign up for all this, like I was saying yesterday. So I try not to, you won't catch any pressure coming from me on this channel. Just response, right? Just thoughts, just a little, what's it called? Reading between the lines, a little subtext, right? That's what I'm going to be doing. Justin Bieber deserves privacy, and I think they all deserve privacy, except for the diddler. Obviously, he sacrificed his privacy when he decided to wire up all those cameras and drug people with GHB lube. That part blew me away. My new friend is a massage therapist by trade. When I told him that, he said, "Shut up, no way." And yeah, dude, through the skin. He was like, "That's diabolical." And yeah, it pretty much is. That's a great word for it, diabolical. Avena Sativa says, Oprah does animal breeding, trafficking, faux, sick, as well as trafficking through her school students. Look up Jesse Zebotar's testimony on Aquarius Rising Africa. That is a mouthful, and it will take me a sec to digest, but in my own time, I will definitely look that up. I appreciate you, Avena. Thank you for that. That's so funny to me, I think, Blessed Crochet. Blessed Crochet says, I can't watch Wizard of Oz. That witch scares me and gives me nightmares. It has since the first day I watched it. I have to say that witch lives rent-free in my head. And she always is saying, I'm going to get you, my pretty. And she, you know, the whole thing. And then the flying monkeys and all that. That is definitely rent-free in my head. 100%. The days of the film studio system are long gone. I must not understand the film studio system, Frank. By the way, good to see you, Frank. I'm glad you're in. Glad you're here. Oh, okay. I understand. I definitely put my foot in the mouth from time to time, Nico. I'm a massage therapist and it's horrific. Yup. What else do I have to say about Diddy, y'all? It's quite the it puts food on the table talking about Diddy. You know what I mean? It's very strange. It's very strange to me. I do not want to become the true crime guy that is hunting down dramatic stories, right? I don't want to lose my light and give away my love, or I shouldn't say that. I do want to give my love away, but I want to keep it for myself too. I don't want to be this like, what's a good word for it? This like drama chaser. I don't want to be that guy, and I promise you, I will never be that guy. I will never be that guy, but I will have something to say about these things. I am going to. I say this all the time, but going to be looking into other stories that I can talk about, and my twist on it is going to be a little different. I hope. I plan for my take to be a little bit different than the others out here that are doing these stories, because this is a connection channel, right? I want to spread love. I want to spread joy. I want to spread connection. I think that these things trump all other things, right? I think that these things could heal us as people. And you might be hearing this and thinking to yourself, I don't need that. Well, yeah, I promise you do. We all do. No one is safe from the trauma of being a human. No one is exempt from the baggage that comes along with growing up, becoming an adult. So I think that no matter what, that's important to me. That's very important to me. And I don't have to talk about consent. I don't have to talk about boundaries or intent. I can, right? But I am going to put a positive twist. I am going to put that Spanx Calhoun magic on it. All right. Every time. Yeah, Russ, we're not going back to jail, big dog. We've come way too far. We've come so far. That's not the lyrics, is it? It's been so long and got so far, something like that. But in the end, does it really even matter? No, it totally matters. It takes energy, much energy, to chase drama, says Galen. And you wonder why some people are so tired all the time, because they're chasing stories down. D. Marie brings up a very important point. The women he was drugging, how many of them became addicted or turned to substances to deal with the trauma? Did y'all know that Judy Garland overdosed on heroin? Like she died doing what they gave her. And I don't know how old she was when she started doing all that, but I imagine pretty young. She was in some pretty sensational flicks, with and without color, which I think is such an interesting time. But that being said, that kind of made and broke her, right? Very interesting stuff. Very tragic stuff. I love that word. Frank Humphrey says these problems are made worse by apathy and looking the other way. Apathy is a really good word. And I'm pretty sure the definition of it is just not caring, right? Apathy is like becoming unempathetic. Mental health, that's not what we want. I typed in apathy and it just says a bunch of stuff about mental health. There must be something changing in. There must be something about mental health going around that has apathy in it. Sometimes I'll do a search and it's so unhelpful. It's like the sensation. I think it's AI that's obviously causing it, right? But like whatever is like a hot topic, that's what I'll get. I was trying to look up an error that I was having in one of my programs the other day, and it kept giving me like a million of the same story, not what I was looking for, right? I just wanted to know how a simple function of this program worked. But there was a bug where like everyone was having like a similar issue, but like different, but like the same words kind of describe it. So I couldn't find throughout like pages and pages, just a simple instruction on how to like perform a simple function that this program's supposed to do, right? Instead, I'm looking at all these testimonials of people bitching, and it's like, dude. Anyways, I think it'll even out. AI is still new. Scooby Lee, good to see ya. I think that all the time, Valerie. Valerie says the most recent was yesterday. Makes me think, is this the rapture? Talking about people that we love dying. I think about that all the time. There has been war. I forget what it says, but there are a bunch of conditions that say are going to happen before the rapture, right? In the Bible or whatever. And most of them are constantly happening, right? There's always war in the Middle East. I forget the other ones. I haven't read that book in a very, very long time, but I have that thought very, very frequently, right? Like, is this even real? Is this actually going to happen? Because, man, they've been bombing each other over there for like since I was a young boy. Sharon Dixon, good to see ya. Ben Bacon Bits. Oh my. I love your new thumbnail, dude. I went with sausage this time around. Sorry, dude. Catalina, what's going on? Welcome in. I usually try several browsers, says Galen. I'm going to have to start employing that. Usually I just try and go with Google because I accept them as the best. But when I was having trouble yesterday, I looked and I was already on Google. And I was like, what the heck? Lack of interest, enthusiasm, or concern. Yes, apathy is not productive. That is for sure. I'm apathy oblivious, Yarn Prepper. That's correct. Avena Sativa says, also a lot of celebrities that OD'd were given hot shots or staged suicide like Chris Cornell, Chester Bennington, and Anthony Bourdain. Interesting. I will have to look into this. When you say hot shot, are you referring to like bad dope? Are you referring to like a speedball? Because I know Bradley of Sublime died allegedly because of a bad batch of dope going around, right? Rest in peace. Rest in power, Brad. Love that guy. Love his music. I never met the guy, right? Oh, I always doubt the official narrative, Avena. That's for sure. That is for sure. Apathy disconnects us from others. And that's the opposite of connection, right? We definitely are looking to Spanx. I knew him. I already forgot who I was talking about. My brain is kind of mushy in the morning. We were just talking about don't judge me. Beta, what's going on? Good morning. I definitely don't feel pressured to change, Beta. I just, it is in my best interest to move in the direction that serves me best, right? That was kind of a redundant statement, but I think you get the point. It's going to benefit me largely to shift in certain ways. And I'm always looking to do things better. I'm always looking to serve y'all better, right? Serve me better, serve the boat better. Always looking for ways to take the boat to another level, to another place, to a new place, right? To novel experiences. So this is good. This is all good. Google has become more invasive and less useful. As they get bigger and bigger, that usually is how things go. It's hard to keep things of massive size in a defined direction, right? Oh, Brad, that's right. Jeez, my brain, dude. You knew him. I forget that you're. I forget your past, man. You're from California, and you're kind of used to be a big player. One day you're gonna have to tell me about him, man. I would love to hear. You're from the LBC, huh? That's really cool. That's way cool, Russ. What a beautiful time to be alive. I would have loved to have been around for like the rise of dance hall in Southern California. That would have been super cool. I would have been out there jumping around, doing bad things for sure. Doing bad things. I'm a bad man. Roberta, what's going on? Good morning. Welcome in. Yeah, I used to sing Santeria as a kid all the time. I've known all the lyrics to that song since I was a young boy. Well, guys, I think that's literally the meat and potatoes of what I have to say. I'm losing steam. I might just cut it short. Thanks, man. This was a gift from the beautiful Body Illusion. Oh, I'm just gonna move right into it because my screen's mirrored. Yeah, not so bad, huh? Not so bad. But I tell you what, we can only hope that this Diddy thing gets wrapped up. Gets wrapped up nicely and neatly. We can only hope that all of the names come out. Did the names ever come out for the Epstein stuff? I feel like the list came out like they said the list came out, but then nobody was making an uproar about it, which is super interesting to me. Like if these names come out and people don't lose their minds, I'm gonna be a little worried. You know what I mean? Because big names are gonna come out. If it ain't Oprah and it ain't Steve Harvey and it ain't this person, it's that person. It's somebody. It's a bunch of somebody's most likely. It's at the very least Ashton Kutcher, right? So I am very, very curious to see what names come out, and they better friggin' come out, or I'm going to be mad. That's just all I have to say about that. Marilyn Monroe was murdered, says Flick. Evidence for her taking her life wasn't there. Winds me up. And all of these suicides that weren't really suicides, what's up with that? Kurt Cobain couldn't pull the trigger with his toe, right? While he was on that much heroin. Obviously, it's just science. So and everyone kind of buys that he killed himself. I watched a documentary about, I forget her name, but his girlfriend or whatever. I watched a documentary about their interactions and then post-death and pre-death. And it certainly seems to me like she killed him. You know what I mean? I forget her name, but she seemed bat poo crazy. Like she seemed out of it. And very, very driven. Courtney Love. Yeah, very, very driven. Very, very single-minded, right? But also bat poo crazy. We missed you, Valerie. You got to come by more often. I hope that things are going well for you. I miss you. When I think of you and you're not here, I think to myself, I hope that everything's going well for her. Because we all have stuff going on, and when I don't have good stuff going on, I kind of like spend some time with me. You know what I mean? So that's just where my head goes. I'm just wishing you well. I'm glad you're here, though. Hi from Spain, Leander. Welcome in. Former addict and struggling with PTSD. You and me both. I tell you what, I used to smoke crack and drink. And it's been about a year and 6 months, year and 7 months. We're in October now. I might 7 or 8 months. I lose count, but I'm not to 2 years yet. We need to demand information and take control. You know what? The population is massive, right? There's a lot of us, and the people that have billions of dollars, and the people that are making decisions, and the people that are making big movies. There's a very, very few of them, right? And I think that the real trouble is the masses, getting them to agree on something, right? And then even if we agree, like we all kind of agree on this, like are we all going to take action together? I think that there are inherent struggles, like I was just saying, when something's big, to direct it. You really need a strong leader. You need a strong direction. And then, you kind of need a way to get people to cooperate. I don't have those things, right? I don't know what we should or could do, except what we're doing right now is talking about it, right? If there is a direction to be traveled, if there is a path to the future that we want to see, best believe I will point in that direction and we'll start moving there, right? But until then, I think this is what we got. I think we're just going to hash it out, Thank you for saying that, Leander, and I'm proud of you for staying sober. I tell you what, you're definitely in the right place. Hang out with us. I guarantee you there's people on the crew that have similar experiences, or at the very least can relate with yours. And we are all each other's resource. So don't be afraid to talk, make friends, and chat it up with your fellow boaters here. Ann Brown, welcome in. Oh, speaking of, I know we don't talk about politics here, but this made me think of something. Gaslit, welcome in, by the way. Gaslit says it's all a long game on Sciento's billion years and always before an election. You know, I can't go 5 minutes on YouTube without seeing literal propaganda from the political parties. And I'm not getting anything from one side. I'm just getting Kamala Harris, Kamala Harris, Kamala Harris, Kamala Harris, Kamala Harris. It's blowing my mind. We live in a country where propaganda is reality. Like they are shoving Kamala Harris down my throat. Get that crap out of my face. I don't want to see it. I don't care. I don't care. Even if it was like a well-to-do, like even if I agreed or whatever, like I don't want you to force it in my face. Like it's turning me off. I don't like the system. I don't like either of the people. I don't like the way it works. I don't believe that my vote counts. This, that, and the other. I know we're not supposed to talk about politics because it's divisive, but the advertisements are not advertisements. It's friggin' propaganda when it happens every 4 minutes, and then it's the same ad that's slandering the other guy, right? The other candidate, and then like just like talking yourself up. It's wild to me. It's false. It's fake news. It's the propaganda. Propaganda started in war. Propaganda started in communist countries. Propaganda started to brainwash a population so that what we were just talking about, keeping something big directed, right? That's the point of propaganda. So they're sheepdogging us, and we're the sheep with advertisements, propaganda. I realized this for the first time yesterday, and it made me so mad. I refuse to listen to those ads. I will mute my computer, take my headphones out, whatever I got to do, because I'm not gonna let that stuff like be like engraved into my brain because it's constantly in my ears. That's what's happening, whether I'm listening or not. If it's playing and my audio receptors are receiving it, I'm processing it in some way, on some level, whether it be conscious or subconscious. And like, I'm not going to allow that to happen. I'm not going to allow that to happen. I refuse. I refuse. Anyways, thanks for letting me rant about that, guys. Ugh. Luis Berry Music, hello, hello, good morning. I'm new to the channel, seen Tommy on Sean's channel. Are you his son? You look similar. Yes, I am the boy. I am the boy, Spanx Calhoun. Welcome in. Yeah, if you're a fan of my dad, I'm a chip off the old block. I'm just learning, I'm in my learning phase, but it's fun. I think I do all right. Obviously, room to grow, but I don't have 30 years of public speaking experience, but I have lived quite the life. I've been some places that I care not to return, and I'll tell you about them. Carmy Girl 9902, welcome in. I don't want to be pessimistic, but as the days go by, I'm starting to feel like these people have too much time now to circle the wagons, and we won't find out who they are. And that is the inherent problem. One of the inherent problems with the system. It takes so much time. Obviously, it would be a lot simpler if we could just, I sentence you to death and then execute, right? But that's tyranny. That's totalitarian. That's not freedom. So, unfortunately, freedom takes time, I think. But you're right. I think that these people are gonna batten down the hatches and kind of cover their tracks. But at the same time, how much can they actually do that when the cell phone exists, right? You could be on a video you don't even know you're on, and you could be doing something you wish you weren't doing on video. And in the position that Diddy's in, at the parties, at this and that, I don't know. I think it's impossible for these people to not be on film doing things that they don't want to be on film doing. I think it's impossible. Zen Wen, good to see you. Welcome in. It's been a while. How are you? Just popping in to say hello to everyone. Just listening. Much love. Well, thank you for the gifted as well. You're so sweet. We appreciate the unending support that you guys give us. I tell you what, Kristen, Melinda, like picking your nose. You can pick your friends and you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's nose. You heard it here first, all right? Yeah, it worked really well before the cell phone, AD. And it's been working after the cell phone too, but I think those days are coming to a swift end. You want to know another fun random line from a movie that lives rent-free in my head? I'm trying to think how it goes because he says it so quick. In the first Pirates movie, they're talking about, in the very beginning, Pirates of the Caribbean, they're talking about the gallows, and he says a short drop and a sudden stop. And he's talking about when they kick the stool out from under your feet and you like fall and hang. Short stop and a sudden. Anyways, it's a fun line. I don't know how it actually is supposed to be said, but that plays in my head all the time. Did I fix it? I've been seeing you, Dirty Mouse. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. Lacey Silver, what's going on? Tina Marie, hello. Florence Southard, oh my, we have quite the crowd in here today, huh? Nose or toes, either works. Yep, Florence says propaganda used to be illegal at one time, but some legislation during a president allowed it again. I hate it. And I told this to my dad yesterday when I realized it, like, hey, this is all propaganda. And that's what he said to me. He said, they changed the law, so now anything goes. So does that mean they can slander people? Or did the things they say have to be true? Because I'm also getting local, state, election stuff. I forget his name, Juan Siska something. But there's just very, very salacious advertisements. Like all of the ads are talking about how their opponent is a piece of crap. And, that's not like that makes for a salacious story, but that doesn't inspire confidence, trust. That doesn't do anything positive. So I don't know if they'll keep running that direction, but it definitely seems to be the way things go right now, at least. Hey, Dirty Mouse, good to see you. Glad you're in. And Helena Flock of Swan Boats raises a great point. Hit that like, subscribe, and the bell for notifications. If you like what we do here, it certainly makes a difference. A short drop and a sudden stop. That's right, Flick. Thank you. Heck yeah. Dennis from Boston. It's been a while, man. Good to see you. Been in the replay crowd lately. Lucked out, caught alive. That's what's up. We do love our replay crew, but it's all obviously more fun to be here live, right? Beta has a great point. Politicians don't talk about ideas anymore. They just sell emotions. That's because it's proved that an emotional message, even if it's a lie, is more attractive to the brain than true verified facts. And, I think that this is very, very true. But at the end of the day, are we going to fall for this over and over and over? I don't think it's possible. Eventually, the bridge has got to give. The dam's got to give. I was going to say something else about that. Yeah, and Carnisol says I'm seeing the slander level stuff on all sides. And is it legal to slander someone publicly in a paid advertisement now? Is that the case? I will say this: we're not going to be talking about other content creators on the boat, right? Even if it is legal, we're not going to be doing any of that stuff. And they can say what they want, but I'm about love and joy here. And I'm not without anger and rage. I'm full of it. But I, try to keep it kosher as much as I can. Cinderella's glass sipper. Hi, Captain Calhoun. So glad to catch you on a live. Hugs and love. Oh, well, thank you. I'm so glad you're here, Cinderella. Get them gaslit. Show your boss who's boss. No, I'm just kidding. We understand. We are all motivated primarily by emotions, says Kristen, even if we don't realize it. This is 100%. We are emotional creatures. That's for sure. And, emotions have a very big tie to memory. Did you guys know this? Emotions, when kind of like the dopamine response or like touching a hot stove response, your brain remembers that by dropping endorphins onto your brainstem, right? Well, emotions and memories are very, very connected as well. We feel emotions to accentuate happenings. It's part of how our brain learns. It's part of how we protect ourselves, how we survive as humans, right? And I'm just not with it today, guys. I like moral value over slander any day. It's not inspiring. Well said. I appreciate that, Louis Berry. Louis Berry. I'm starting to like rage sometimes, says Ben, even though I'm trying to model love and all that crap. Well, I tell you what, Ben, rage is all well and good until you absolutely lose control of it. And then it's terrifying. And speaking from experience. Susan P, hello, welcome in. I love this Flick. Flick says, the problem is not the problem. The problem is your attitude about the problem. Another Pirates quote. I don't remember that scene. I'm going to have to go back and watch. I know what I'm doing today. I'm going to watch Pirates. What an epic flick, I have to say. That scene towards the end where they're all walking underwater and then they walk through that ray of moonlight and they're all like dead. I love that scene so much. Oh my. Cinematic glory. Mimi Pacheco? Hello, welcome in. Good to see you. Good to see you. Well, y'all, I think I'm going to get out of here before I say anything else embarrassing. But yeah, much love. Thanks for checking it out. This has been The Lifeboat. Hit that like, subscribe, and the bell for notifications if you like what we do here. It certainly makes a difference. And then check out the Admiral this evening. Most likely during the day, he'll be on other shows and whatnot. He's been pretty busy lately. And I think that moving forward, we'll have some more structure. We'll have some more of this, some more that. I've been working behind the scenes, getting together what I call lesson plans. And basically what that means is planning out what I'm doing a week in advance rather than flying by the seat of my pants, which I do more than I'd like to admit. So anyways, that being said, big stuff on the horizon, big stuff right now in the future. Much love to all of you, all right? Have a great day and be in your joy. Be happy.